there, and welcome to another video from Frog Lane Studio. So in the last video we looked at how to paint this chaplain's face in bronze skin tone. Today I want to touch on the bases themselves. I commission paint, and so I have to paint a lot of bases and paint them very quickly. The easiest way I've found to do this is the steps that we're going to show you through here. So for this you're going to need sand, super glue, snakebite contrast, then XV88, Xandru dust, and then our final step is going to be using Baneblade brown. Once we've done this, we're going to apply some grass tufts as well from Army Painter. So the first step then is to grab your super glue. I use a big pot of carpenter's glue here. This is super glue on an industrial scale, just because I use so much of it, but you can spread that about. Now what I tend to do is to grab a pin, this is a nail, just to poke it into those gaps. Saves you blobbing super glue onto the feet or the tabard and then the sand adhering to that. So you just want to get the nail and spread it around as much as possible. I tend to do half of the model and then dip that into the sand, and then once we've done that you can then do the other half. This will stop the super glue from drying out. Once we've done that, it's then time to apply the super glue to the back of the base, and this is exactly the same process. We're just going to add a big blob of super glue, get the nail, poke it into all the little areas that we need, spread that around, and then once we've done that we can then stick it back into the sand and complete the base. Tip any excess off, give it a quick shake, and then we have it. One complete sanded model in about a minute. So first off, with the snakebite leather contrast, you're just going to get that straight out of the pot onto the model. I then add a big dollop of water just to spread it around a bit. You can always add more contrast in, but you don't want too much in there, otherwise it's going to be too dark. So about a 50-50 ratio on that. So the next step is to grab your pot of XV88, and we're going to go right the way around the perimeter of the base. Now you're going to do a couple of thick coats on this. And now it's on to just a quick dry brush over the top. I'm using exactly the same brush here. Quick dry brush top with that XV88. You're looking to hit the sand quite heavy. We're picking out all the high detail on there and just giving it an overbrush. You want to be paying close attention to the model. Obviously if you've already painted the model and it looks completely finished as this one does, the last thing you want to do is go and blob a load of XV88 all over the armour or the stone there and wreck the model that you've just started. So a little bit of care is due on this. Once we've done that, you can go back and apply a second coat around the perimeter of the base with the XV88 just to really solidify that colour. Obviously if it's going over black or blue or whatever your undercoat spray was, you're going to need a solid colour there, particularly to tie in with the rest of your models. So okay, a second coat on this is essential. It only takes a couple of seconds to do. Once you've done everything with the XV88, then we just move on to the Xandru dust, and we're just repeating the same process, being careful not to apply paint to any of the model around there. This is a lighter dry brush than we did with the XV88, and you're really just wanting a light brushing over the top. You're not wanting much paint on that brush at all. It's a dry brush after all. After that we move on to the Baneblade brown, and yet again you're not wanting very much paint on the brush at all with this. It's just a light feathering over the top just to pick out the very top details on the sand there. So the base is pretty much done. All we're going to do now is just apply the grass tufts. So blob a super glue down wherever you want the grass tuft to go. Now the ones I'm using here are Army Painter Battlefield Terrain, and in particular these are mountain tufts. So you can get these through my affiliate link to Mighty Lancer Games and any of the other paints as well. You can get up to 20% discount on them. So the link in the profile is just below. I'm going to grab a second mountain tuft here. I think the characters generally tend to need two tufts, but the normal rank and file just need the one. Tidy it up a little bit with the tweezers, just poke it down to make sure it's all stuck, and there we go. And there we have it, one completed base in under 5 minutes. Now, when you're doing batch painting and you're doing a lot of these, you can actually shorten that time down just a couple of minutes, and they can all be at this standard as well. So it's very achievable. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you have liked this, please consider liking and subscribing, and let me know in the comments or by message about any topics you might want me to cover in the future. If you have enjoyed the video, then please feel free to tell your friends more about Frog Lane Studio, where in future episodes we'll be covering more hacks, hints, tips and tricks to ease your hobby woes. As I stated earlier in the video, I'm sponsored by Mighty Lancer Games, who offer a massive 20% off most of the products in the range. And if you have been finding the videos useful at all, I'd also like to say that I do have a Patreon page, link to which is down below. So if you have enjoyed or learnt something, then all support is greatly appreciated, as it allows me to continue to support you guys. Channel Patreons receive various benefits, such as requesting tutorial content or hourly one-to-one hobby sessions with myself. We also have a really big Discord community as well, and the more subscribers we get, then the more giveaways we can do. So if any of that sounds good to you, or you'd just like to help support me keep on making these tutorials, then feel free to have a look on my profile page. In any case, a massive thank you to all of my Patreons: Death Corpse Master, Eater of Cities, Full Circle, Honor Sanguinius, Jeans and a Shirt, Keith, Loco Drydog, MDH, Midget Gems, Mogsy, Mr. Tumnus, Not There But Trying, Original Sin, Past 7 Painting, Mr. and Mrs. Ritson Bits, Mr. and Mrs. Monkey, Stephen 101, Sonorous, The Secret Paintbrush, and the ever indomitable Mrs. Frog. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care and keep rolling sixes.